Students, now we are going to see chapter number 4, financial planning. Financial planning, in this chapter we are going to see GST, that is nothing but the tax value, and what are the components of GST, how the GST value calculate, all such a things we are going to see in this chapter. So first of all, what is GST? Whatever the income we have, or in a business or in some company, whatever the income they have to pay some amount from their income to our government. That is nothing but our tax value. But from the 1st July of 2017, that tax value is converted into GST. How it is? All such taxes that we are separately, that government taking separately taxes, that for example entertainment taxes there, octroi taxes there, all such taxes are included in the GST. So what is the GST? GST, full form of GST, it is goods and service tax. Goods and service tax. This GST again has two components. Or you can say this GST is divided into two parts. First, it is SGST, and second, CGST. What is SGST and CGST? Whenever you are going in some hotel or in some shop, you are getting that payment slip. On that, at the end of that slip, you are getting that GST amount or GST percentage or rate of GST, and then CGST, SGST. But what is that CGST and SGST value? This CGST is nothing but the Central Goods and Service Tax. So this tax is to be paid to central government. And SGST, it is nothing but the state goods and service tax, which is paid to our state government. So these two components is included in GST value. And how we are going to calculate this CGST value, SGST value? Whenever we are going to such examples, we are going to see how that we are going to calculate. First of all, what is the relation between this CGST and SGST value? This is nothing but the state goods and service tax and this central goods and service tax. Now, these two values are always equal, and these two rates are always equal. Whenever we are going to buy some good from any shop or any shop, that time we are having that GST rate. That GST rate is divided into SGST and CGST. That time this SGST amount and CGST amount is always equal. Or you can say this SGST rate and CGST rate, these two rates are always equal. And added to this two, we are getting GST value. So relation between GST and SGST. GST, it is SGST plus CGST. And SGST is always equal to CGST. So rate of CGST and SGST are equal, and when we are adding these two rates, we are getting GST amount. Now, whenever we are having in a question, for example, if you are going to solve some questions, that time we are having in that question taxable value, invoice value, or sometimes selling price, purchase price, total value. Such terms are there. And these terms, they are giving some value for this term. Then how we are going to calculate these values are without GST or with GST. So see that whenever in a question for some goods if they are giving taxable value, selling price, purchase price or invoice value, that values are always without GST. That values of that goods are always without GST. So that GST value afterwards added with that. And if they are giving total value or total invoice value of the good, whatever the goods are there, that time that value is with GST. So in exercise 4.1, we are taking such examples so you can understand how to calculate that GST value and SGST value. So, for example, on page number on page number 87, exercise 4.1, the first question. In that first question, it is mentioned that Pawan Medical supplies medicines. On some medicines, the rate of GST is 12%. Then what is the rate of CGST and SGST? So what they are giving? GST rate. Rate of GST, it is 12%. And what we want to calculate? It is CGST and SGST. Now see, using the relation, we know that CGST value and SGST value, or CGST rate and SGST rate, that both are equal. And adding with this two, we are having GST. Now, how we are going to calculate? We know that GST is equal to SGST plus CGST. Now, these both are equal. Therefore, we can write it is 2 times SGST or 2 times CGST as well. So, GST value, we are having 2 times SGST. Now, what is the rate of GST? Rate of GST, it is 12%. So, we are putting this value here. It is 12%, twice of SGST. This 2 is multiplied with SGST, shift on left hand side. So, we are getting it is 12 by 2%, which is SGST. 2 ones are 2, 2 6 are 12. Therefore, SGST, it is 6%. So, rate of SGST, it is 6%. But SGST is equal to CGST. Therefore, SGST, which is equal to CGST, so it is 6%. So, rate of SGST and rate of CGST, 6%. Now, see the second example. For a second example, they are giving on a certain article, if rate of CGST is 9%, then what is the rate of SGST and what is the rate of GST? That is also easiest one. See that, question number 2. For question number 2, first of all, write what is given. CGST rate is given. It is 9%. And what we have to calculate? It is SGST and GST. Now see that. We know the relation GST rate and SGST rate. Both are equal. So obviously SGST will be 9%. But you have to write that as CGST is equal to SGST. Therefore, rate of SGST is equal to 9%. And also, we have one more relation, that SGST plus CGST is GST. So, the rate of GST is SGST plus CGST. Or you can say the twice of SGST or CGST also. In that way also you will get that. Then what is GST? It is 9% plus 9%, which is 18%. So rate of GST it is 18% and rate of SGST it is 9%. In second way, you can say that instead of taking the addition of these two, directly you can take it is twice of SGST or twice of CGST. That is 2 into 9, again 18% in the same way. So you can use any one method, that is the same thing. So this is about question number 2. Now, little bit we have to see some idea or some tricky idea for this. In this example, question number 3 from practice set 4.1. First of all, try to understand the question and then solve it. Mrs. Real Paint sold 2 tins of luster paint and taxable value of each tin it is rupees 2,800. If the rate of GST is 28%, then find the amount of CGST, SGST charged in tax invoice. Now see that 2 tins of luster paint. We have the 2 tins of luster paint and taxable value of each tin. That means only one value or one value for it is given. It is 2,800. And then GST rate it is given and we have to calculate SGST and CGST. Whenever we are going to calculate GST value, that GST value or amount of GST always calculate on taxable value, not on the total amount. It is always calculated on taxable value or selling price, printed price of that good. Now see that. For one thing, question number 3, we are trying to solve. On question number 3, it is given. Taxable value of 1 tin. It is rupees 2,800. But that sold, that Mrs. Real Paint sold 2 tins. So first of all, we have to calculate what is the value of 2 tins. So first of all, we are going to see what is the value of 2 tins. So taxable value of 2 tins, it is 2 times of this one, 2,800, which is 0, 0, rupees 5,600. This is our taxable value for 2 tins. And then what is given? Rate of GST. Rate of GST, it is given 28%. Now, first of all, to calculate the amount of GST, we have to calculate the taxable value of 2 tins. Now, the taxable value of 2 tins, it is 5,600. Now, from this value, we are going to find what is the 28% of this. And 28% of this is nothing but the GST amount. Once we are getting that GST amount, then automatically we are getting SGST and CGST, the half of that GST. So, amount of GST, or you can say GST value also. It is taxable value into rate of GST. This is the formula. Now we are going to do the sum. It is 5,600 into 28% of that. calculate this. This 1 0, 1 0, 1 0, 1 0. And simply multiplication is there. So it is 1, 5, 6. This is the amount of GST. This is the amount of GST. Now, once we are getting this amount of GST, we can calculate CGST value and SGST value also. Now, what is CGST? Which is equal to SGST. This is half of GST. Half of GST. So, half of what is our GST amount or GST value? It is 1,568. So 1,568, half of that. It's 784. So at the end, amount of CGST, which is equal to amount of SGST, which is rupees 784. This how we are going to calculate this CGST value and SGST value whenever you are having that GST. But always remember, whenever you have to calculate or you have to find the amount of GST, that amount of GST, it is always on taxable value, not on the total value. Taxable value into rate of GST. So, rate of GST, it is given 28%. 28% of that, it is 1,568. Half of that, it is CGST and SGST value. From this question, this included all such things, how to calculate amount of CGST, SGST and also GST. Now, the next question, it is 4.1 in that question number 4. So, see that. That question number 4, the taxable value of wristwatch belt, it is rupees 586. Rate of GST is 18%. Then what is the price of belt for customer? Now in this question, they are not asking about CGST value or SGST value or GST value. They are asking what is the price of belt for the customer. Price of belt for the customer, that is nothing but the total value of that good. Now that wristwatch belt has a value, or you can say price, that is nothing but the taxable value. It is rupees 586 and GST rate, it is given 18%. So first of all, we have to calculate what is the 18% of that 586. That is nothing but the GST amount. Then that GST amount we are going to add with the taxable value, and then total of that too. It is nothing but the selling price or the price of that belt for the customer. How we are going to calculate? We are going to see that. See, first of all, see what is given taxable value of wristwatch belt. So first of all, question number 4. Taxable value of it is rupees 586. Rate of GST is given 18%. Now we have to calculate what is the amount or the total value of that wristwatch belt. So first of all, we are going to calculate what is the GST amount. How we are going to calculate the GST amount? It is taxable value into GST rate. That in a previous example, we see that how to calculate that amount of GST. So same formula. Taxable value into that GST rate. Now what is taxable value? it is 586. GST rate 18%. Calculate this. Calculation, you are getting this value is 105.48. So 105.48 or 48 rupees 105 and 48 paise. This is the value, or you can say amount of GST. This is not the wristwatch bill value. This is amount of GST. This value we are going to add in this original price of the wristwatch bill. So then we are getting the total value, or we can say the price of wristwatch bill. This is taxable value plus amount of GST. What is our taxable value? 586 plus amount of GST, it is 105.48. This total 48 1. It is 651 691.48. That means 691 rupees and 48 paise. This is the price of wristwatch bed for a customer. This value is with GST, and without GST, this is our taxable value 586. Thus, how you are going to calculate if we have that taxable value and GST rate is given? First of all, find out what is the GST amount. Add this GST amount to your taxable value. Then you will get the total value, or you can say the price of that good. Thus, from this, how you can see how to calculate the total value for any good. Now, we are going to see some fifth example. See how to solve that fifth one. In that example also, you can see the different types, so you can understand or that GST value will be easier, or how to calculate GST that will become easier for you. Now see, what is the fifth question? The total value, it is given in a bracket with GST of a remote controlled toy car is 1770. Rate of GST is 18% on toys. Find the taxable value, CGST and SGST for toy car. Okay, that example we are going to see in next period. So first of all, we are going to see what we learned in this period. See that. First, GST. We learned that GST, it is goods and service tax, that is amount to be paid on taxable value. There, two components of GST, it is CGST and SGST. Or you can say like this also, GST, that having two components, CGST and SGST, which is Central Goods and Service Tax, which is to be paid to central government, and SGST, which is State Goods and Service Tax, which is to be paid to state government. Then CGST and SGST values are always equal. And the fourth one, GST, it is CGST plus SGST. So whenever we are having these two values, we can calculate GST, and if you are having one of this value, we can calculate the second one. And how to calculate that we see also. And also one thing, taxable value, selling price, purchase price of any good, it is On that we are going to find the GST value, and whenever the total value of any good it is given, that is with GST, and taxable value or invoice value, that is always without GST amount. So this we are, whatever the next example we are going to see in next page.